everybody, and welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. Today, we're having a conversation that's going to shake the table a little bit about Dawn Robinson. She is one of the powerhouse voices behind En Vogue, Lucy Pearl, and even Dr. Dre's firm Supergroup has revealed that she's been homeless, sleeping in her car for nearly 3 years in Los Angeles. Now, let's be real. How does someone with that level of talent, fame, and success end up in such a position? Is this an isolated case, or does it highlight a bigger issue within the music industry? And beyond entertainment, how many Black women, especially those over 40, are struggling financially despite once having strong careers? We're going to break it all down to the real reasons behind these financial pitfalls, bad contracts, lack of financial literacy, industry politics, and even the pressures of maintaining an image. What lessons can we take from this? And how can we be sure we're setting ourselves up for long-term success? Listen, I have a wonderful royal court today. We have Joe Corley, licensed therapist, mental wellness coach, and educator. We have Tiara Williams, our producer and actress. We have Shalay Camillo, CEO of Vital Source Realty, and Dr. Lene, Brand Your Brilliance coach. Look at her shine. Look, she's shining there already. Listen, I need to have everybody's quick response to this because this video just came out yesterday that Dawn put out. Okay. So I just want to hear your initial reaction. Were you shocked that she came out with this statement about her being homeless? Because in the beginning, which we're going to see the video, she was like, oh, Jesus, I put it out there. So I was just curious to know, what was your first reaction, Joe?
I really just need to know more about the story. So I'm gonna process as we go, and I'll answer you later.
All right, Shalay, did it shock you?
It shocked me, but I'm not surprised. And I know those are synonyms, but it shocked me, but I'm not surprised. The music industry, the entertainment industry.
Exactly. Dr. Lene?
I'm shocked. I would say shocked and surprised. You hope, I guess, and pray that when you get that kind of access and that kind of money, that you're going to make good choices and decisions. And then I guess more so sad that it's played out that way, that the people, maybe she didn't have the right people around her, or her choices, or, we know some of the different things that she did in the industry. So it's just sad that you get that level of fame and then you lose it.
Right. I think it shows that, fame ain't always everything. People like to think that it is. Fame and money is not everything. How about you, Tiara? You're in the entertainment industry. You're in LA.
Yeah, fame doesn't equate to money. I just want to say that. So she could have, listen, TLC was all over TV and didn't have no money. So we can say, like, she got all that money and all of that, but we have no idea if she, in fact, got all that money. So am I shocked? Yes, but like Shalay, am I surprised? Nah.
Yeah, I'm not either. So that's my reaction. But my reaction is a little different from everybody. I wasn't surprised, but I really don't care for her personality. And I kind of see the road that she took. This was part of her choice. So if this is her choice, I'm not going to give the reaction that she probably wants from this. So let's watch the video and let's see what she has to say.
You guys, for the past almost 3 years, I have been living in my car. I said it. Oh my God, it's out. I've been living in my car. Oh my gosh. Problem. This is not like, oh my God, poor Dawn. She's living in her car and it's terrible. Oh, what was me? It's not that. It's not like I said, I'm learning about who I am. I'm learning myself as a person, as a woman. And I didn't think if you would have said to me while I was in En Vogue, you're going to be living in your car one day, I'd be like, huh? No, I'm always going to have an apartment. I can't live in my car. How can I do that? I won't be able to live in my car. We say that we can't do certain things before we even know we're capable. And I'm glad that I made this choice because I needed to go through this fire. If some of you are on your spiritual journey, you may know or may have heard of something called Dark Night of the Soul. And that's when you go through like a period of isolation, a period of separating yourself from family and friends. And I'm in the trenches of this right now. And I'm like, I wouldn't trade my experiences and what I've gone through for the world. I hope from this you can gather that, wow, if Dawn could do that, I could do anything. And it's been an unexpected path that I've enjoyed quite a bit. It's not like, oh my God, she's got somebody to help her every day. I don't. It's just me. But that's the beauty of it. Like learning that I can do all these things myself. Wow. Come on. I'm really, really, really proud of myself. This was no joke. And it is not something that I would have chosen, but I'm glad that I put myself out here.
And let me give you a little bit of history. Okay, Dawn is absolutely a powerhouse. Her voice is powerful and it's beautiful. When she is doing her thing, she's doing her thing. But Dawn also has a history of not being a good team player when it comes to working in the industry. She was with En Vogue. En Vogue fell apart a little bit. En Vogue said they would always have her back. She said she would do it as long as the other singer that replaced her would go away. And En Vogue said, no, 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 she stays. Okay, that was one. Two was with Lucy Pearl when she worked with other artists there, and it fell apart. And then she blamed another member for that, only to find out that wasn't true. Three, she did R&B divas. And I think that really showed that she has a lot of issues. So I just wanted to give you a background, good and bad, of what Dawn is known for in the industry. And I'm trying to not be biased, but I want to say a couple of the comments that we have. Constance, hey, Constance. She said she's the common denominator. And I feel that way. Roger Holloway says, what about being difficult to work with? They call it burning bridges. So we now have a little bit of both sides of this. And she said that she chose this, but yet she wouldn't have chose this way. Joe, I want to talk to you a little bit about this because I want to get your initial thoughts on this video. Does this sound like someone who is stable in her thinking or may possibly need some type of intervention with therapy?
So as a therapist, my role is not to look at your situation and then make judgments on it. So everything that I know about anybody sitting on my couch, I get from them. So if I'm looking at this situation and hearing what she's saying, and until I get the signs or the feelings that she's being inauthentic, I have to take her for her word. So not knowing just looking at this, I don't know anything. I haven't sat with her. I don't know her. But looking at this, that all sounds totally logical to me. If that's what she wants to do authentically and that's who she wants to be, then who am I to say that that's unstable? So my goal is always with every single client is to live the way that you authentically want to live, whatever makes you feel joy, happy, and peaceful. If that's what she's doing, that's what she's doing.
All right. I like that perspective because a lot of people think that when you go to therapy that they're there to bash you and beat you into a certain way, but that's not the case. You just told us that. But Tiara, how does someone go from being one of the R&B's biggest groups to being homeless?
There's a lot of factors, right? It's a lot of circumstances that could happen. There's a lot of things. So in this video, I do want to say, though, what we didn't hear is that she was living in Las Vegas with her mother. And she said after a while, it fell apart because her mother had an issue with her or whatever. And so I hear her saying, like, just kind of pointing the finger at a lot of people. Over the years, I've seen her point the finger and say, like, I'm the victim in this situation and they're doing me wrong. And so I think that's the number one way to be broke, right? To be 50 some years old and not have anywhere to stay is kind of, taking in that victim mentality. The industry is filled with people who don't know the business. They aren't looking at the business side of the business. I always say that each industry, music, entertainment, no matter what business you work in, 90%, no matter what part of the entertainment industry you work in, 90% of it is show, 90% of it is business, and 10% of it is show. And so you got to know that other side of the business. And I think a lot of artists are just like, I don't care about money. Y'all know the artists that be like, I don't care about money. All I want to do is give my art. That's all I want to do is just feel the world with my art. And they be broke because you don't want to learn the other side of the business. You just wanted to feel the world with your art. So your art and you are going to be sitting outside, unfortunately.
All right, Shalay, I love your response. So I'm going to you next. Okay, I'm going to you next. Tag on what your thoughts are.
So fame is fleeting. And I believe that, especially in this day and age, and maybe always, but I feel like more now that artists are really into it, most artists, for the fame of it, and that is fleeting. And like Tiara was saying, you got to think about the business side of it. So I grew up in the music industry. Me and my sister singing. We used to be called Baby En Vogue. And so like, I remember meeting with record companies and everything. Our mom was our manager, and we would sit down and we turned down contracts because those contracts ain't shit. They really aren't. So if you're after the fame, there's a certain level of when you come in and you got to pay your dues and things like that, you're going to have to do that. But I feel like she's been in the industry so long, like what happened over the long term, why she ended up in this position. It has to be a mismanagement of relationships, a mismanagement of opportunities, a mismanagement of money. It has to be a melting pot of all of those things if she ends up in this spot. So like Joe was saying, I don't really know I was kind of shocked to hear that she's in that position. But then on the other hand, you can look at her past behavior and say, okay, she probably burned a lot of bridges.
Right. Now, don't forget other people like Sly Stone, same situation, was living on the side of the road in a van. But that was definitely because of how the record industry did him, and he was not getting his royalties. And currently also two of the DeBarge brothers are also living in a trailer on the side in LA. So this is not uncommon, but I think this situation of how we're seeing it is being uncommon. Dr. Lene, I'm going to get your response when we get back. We're going to take a quick commercial break right now, and we'll be right back.
Woo! It's a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow with flynubianmoney.com.
Listen, we do all the things here, but if you don't want to miss all the things, you want to know when we go live, I get the notice every day and I'm on the show. You want to make sure that you text the word Queens, QUEENS to 87948 so that you can get notified every day of when we go live. So, you love to talk, but we always make sure that we turn around to talk about some type of finances in here on how we can do better and try to give some solutions. Dr. Lene, we hear a lot of entertainers go through this type of situation. And, you're great about branding your brilliance. That is their brilliance, their art, right? So how can Black entertainers better protect themselves financially from this type of situation?
That's an easy answer, and that's strategy. The basis of branding your brilliance is all about strategy. I think when you're going into not just entertainment, but any type of, let's say, high income or high return situation, there should be a strategy for it. All the money that passed through their hands at some point in time. In the video, she's talked about, she said, I can't believe I won't have an apartment. She didn't say a home. She didn't say a house. Like, you have that kind of money, a house should have been bought so that you can make sure that you always have a roof over your head, so that there were some type of an investment, right? You go into that particular industry, but I'm gonna make this a blanketed statement. Whenever you get large sums of money, we get so excited and we just start spending and living our best life. And then when the money is gone, we don't have anything to show for it. We go back and talk about what we did have and who we used to be. And I feel her on that when she said that I wouldn't change it for anything. She probably wouldn't. It's a lifestyle that everybody didn't get to live, but she didn't handle her blessing well, right? En Vogue is still traveling the world, making money today. And she said no. One of them, I think, is married to a football player. Like, you didn't use your talent and your skills, your brilliance well. And so I would say strategy. Use your brilliance in a way where it can pay you for the rest of your life.
It's really interesting that you brought that up, because honestly, En Vogue, I think, just announced this week that they're doing like a tour. And then this came out immediately after that. So that was just announced, I do believe, on Tuesday, that they came out with new dates of where they were going to be performing. Do I think this is a little strategic on her part? I honestly believe it is. But Big Mac says, I don't think living in your car is considered normal unless she's in an RV, especially someone of her stature in the industry. And I do know a lot of people right now who are living in RVs. They live in their best life, but they chose to do it and still are making money and choosing to live in their RVs because of the rent and everything else, but they still invested in their RV. This just feels different to me. So let's check some stats, because we like numbers around here. Okay, so let's look at this one. Only 19% of recording artists own their rights to their music, meaning the majority do not profit long-term from their work, such as I told you earlier, Sly Stone, especially. That's why he was on the side of the road. Same with the DeBarge family. Women in entertainment are twice more likely than men to struggle financially after their careers slow down due to industry ageism and lack of opportunity. Wow. I think that ageism is something I do want to tackle. Tiara, do you think that is part of the situation with her? And do you see it a lot in the industry?
No, some divas are able. So, based on I've met a lot of celebrities, I've worked with a lot of people, and it's so interesting that certain people just do business well. Like, I noticed the way they move, how they handle people. They're gracious, they're nice. Every time you see them, they have an air about them that keeps them working, right? And then there's other people that don't have that, right? They're mean, they're combative, they're difficult, and those people tend to be the people sleeping outside after a while. And not always, but there's just people that have a thing about them, like they know how to handle their business and understand that the way they deal with their relationships is very much part of the business. And so I do think that ageism is a thing. I'm not saying that it's not. But I think that it's all a mentality. I mean, somebody just asked me yesterday. I mean, I'm 42 now. Somebody just asked me about, I have an album coming out soon. And somebody just asked me about a record label yesterday. I'm not 20 anymore. And I was like, I don't know if I want to, I know I don't want to deal, but for different reasons. But I just think it's just how you handle it's just a mindset that comes along with it. Like I said, if you know the business, if you know how to handle your business and how to treat people, it'll take you really far, no matter how old you are.
I agree, which I'm going to tap into you, Joe, with this, because this is a mental thing. This can affect you mentally when people are saying you're too old, you ain't the right size, you don't do what we want right now musically. Those things, when you are constantly being told by the industry these type of things, how can someone prepare mentally for those things to help get them through that struggle?
I think En Vogue said it best themselves. Free your mind. The rest will follow. Listen, reality, we have to anchor ourselves in our realities. And that can be difficult for some people. Like we are out here right now talking about how this doesn't seem normal. But how normal is it to live in a situation where you live basically beyond your means for your entire life, paying $600,000 for a house that costs 250, that doesn't seem normal to me. So we have to readjust what we consider normal. How do you prepare for the situation that she's in right now? It's adjusting your reality. Okay, here's where I am right now. Here's what I'm capable of doing, and that's what it is. I can't go back in the past and make any changes. I don't have a time machine. I can't do any of that stuff. What is in front of me right now, and how do I actually want to be living? And that's a really hard concept for a lot of people to grab. It really is, because we've been conditioned to kind of accept a different kind of normal for ourselves, or a standard normal. But everybody's normal is different. So this woman's normal is different. So we just got to figure out what her normal is and help her adjust to her reality as soon as possible. If she's, or maybe we're wrong. Maybe she's already adjusted to her reality.
Can I just ask Joe a question?
Yeah.
If that is the case, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Joe, so she goes into this whole soliloquy about it being the midnight before dawn, or whatever she said, right? Like whatever she was talking about a spiritual awakening and all of that. I'm not gonna lie to you, it does sound a little detached from reality. Like I know we all, to throw yourself into, I understand, there's a part of me that understands. Like she's saying, I'm going through obstacles and I realize I can do those things on my own. Like I have a sense of freedom because I'm able to now do things on my own versus whatever her life was before. But part of her rhetoric sounds really detached from reality. What do you say about that? Like some of it, just a little bit. She sounds crazy as hell a little bit.
Yeah, it's really hard to grasp that without talking to her, because her lived experience could be dictating the things that she's saying. And I have not lived her life. You know what I mean? So giving her an opportunity to sit on the couch and process everything that she's been through, and then try to figure out how close or detached from reality she actually is. That's what it would take. But everything can come from lived experience. We don't know what that woman's been through. We really don't know. She could be the problem or the common denominator, as everybody says, or she could really be getting taken advantage of in every situation that makes her feel the way she feels. We don't know.
Or acts the way she acts. But the dark hour, that's a real thing. That is a real thing. And we use it as speakers when we tell our story, where you go through the dark night and you come out. So that's a legit practice. She read that in a book somewhere, I'm sure of it, but it is real.
But I mean,
thank you for
I don't know,
tapping
maybe
into
it's the
that.
way she said it. I understand the dark night and the midnight or whatever, but I understand what you're saying, right? But she just sounds okay. Go ahead.
But no, I'm really like Dr. Lenny, I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm sure she also reads a lot too. I mean, you tapped into that too. So it's got to be a part of something that she's read in her psyche. We're going to take another short break, and when we come back, we're going to continue this conversation. This is hot, but listen, we're not talking at you. Y'all know that, right? I need to see all them comments come a flying. I'd love to see what you have to say about the situation. We'll be right back.
After midnight.
You're busy, you got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us, so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing. I'll see you soon.
Hey, we already told you. You if you don't want to choose to live in your car, we have options for you. Okay? Listen, I'm not joking about that because I know who all has taught on this panel with Fly Nubian Money Club. And I can tell you every last one who has taught has brought it 1000% to help you to make sure that your financial house is in order. Sign up today, 30-day free trial, flynubianmoneyclub.com. Okay, now listen, I want to dig back into this, but Shalay, you mentioned, you are a part, you were part of the industry, you were considered that like the baby in Vogue. So one of the things you talked about the contracts, but what are some of the biggest financial mistakes that entertainers make?
Oh my goodness, so many things, but number one, it's a mentality. And coming from a community, and I'm talking about Black entertainers, coming from a community where it's like, the fast money seems to be the way to get out of the poverty and things like that. They're not really thinking about the long term. It's about survival and getting out and then being flashy with it. I think that the biggest problem is doing all the flash, all the cars, all the houses that are not needed. And a lot of those houses are rented and not even owned, which is a big problem. But like the cars and the jewelry and the clothes and the makeup and the flying here and there and the jets and the entourage. Artists aren't really thinking about that ain't your money. Like the record company is coming back to recoup all that. They're like, go ahead, spend it. They have to recoup all of that before you actually make a dime. So it's about being strategic about what is it that we're really doing? What is it, the mentality that we're doing? I mean, the mentality that we're using as far as business wise, who is advising? Oh, so many times you have people who are supposed to be advisors and they're just there to siphon from the artist. So it's really important to set yourself up as a business and think about that long term, because it's not about the flashy this and that, because you're paying for all of that. But what do you have at the end of it? A bunch of clothes and some Fendi this and Fendi that, like real estate. What are you thinking about businesses that you're going to start so you can strike while the iron is hot? And once you're hot, collaborate with other artists, do things like that. So like, artists aren't really thinking about that. At least traditionally, artists weren't thinking that way. I feel like now maybe since these things are getting out in the open, more people are thinking about it. But it's really about strategy and mentality.
Exactly.
I'm going to say MP Hammer.
Go ahead. Tap on in, Dr. Lene. Tap in.
Huge entourage. Used to travel with all those dancers, all those people, paying wages, and then broke. All them folks had money. Some of them probably made investments. The dancers could have potentially probably ended up in a better situation than him.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I think the industry and all industries, not just music, we're talking about because she's in music today, but writers, artists, any movie people. I mean, we hear every single day that they are not getting paid or protected correctly. And when you first are getting into this, you've worked so hard that they dangle this golden carrot that looks so beautiful that you don't open that carrot up and see that there's a lot of rotten shit in there that you need to be paying attention to. And sometimes your vision of what you want to be, you choose to ignore the other side of it because you think it's all going to work out. But listen, we've talked about Dawn. This is nothing new. Like we've talked about several other artists who are in the same situation, but I want to watch another video and we're going to dive and take this in a little bit of a different direction. Check this out.
It's me. I'm that one check away. Yes. I woke up one day, got let go, and I found out that I had no support.
They say that if a person is homeless, they're crazy, lazy, or on drugs.
No. It's scary. This is death. Every year it gets worse. It's the wrong time to be homeless. Like the resources is bad, meaning because everybody's using them. We're being affected, but now it's starting to hit. I was up, right? I'm coming down. You'll eventually start seeing them because the sun's coming down. Nice cars. People are living in them. What does that say? They were like us. That one check away. Because how do you have all your, you already got, you look like you're straight. That makes a lot, you downsize. So now people ain't downsizing to a studio, we downsizing to our car. Let's go minimum, right? So studios, 1,000, right? My car note is over 5. Insurance, that's about $2,000 right there. Right there off rip. That's not including food. That's not including bills, my cell phone bill, phone, nothing.
All right, let's get down to some root of things. We definitely know for sure that inflation and the things that are going up and up and up do not balance with what is coming in and in and in. And more people are choosing to share the struggle with the world. I think it's great that we have these type of platforms where they share, but check this out. Americans living in their cars are finding refuge in safe parking spots. So now there's a need for safe parking lots. Municipalities and nonprofits are establishing secure lots to address the rising number of people who live in their cars or their RV. Guys, I could barely move around Los Angeles. When I was selling homes, I would have to walk through homeless encampments. You're talking Burbank, you're talking Hollywood, you're talking Long Beach, you're talking, Studio City, you're talking Hollywood Boulevard. People like to show the pretty stuff, but they don't want to show the nasty stuff that goes with it. So are we normalizing this and making it normal now that people are now going to be living in parking lots? And I'm going to throw that question to you, Joe. Do you think this is normalizing a really shitty situation so that people just know that, oh, well, other people are doing it, so can I?
Yeah, this is what I've been saying the whole time, right? What is normal? What is reality? I mean, a lot of us, about a good percentage of people probably have not prepared or did not prepare to be an adult. And by the time we figure out what you actually need in order to do some adulting, most times it's too late. So looking at those situations where you're walking through those homeless camps and all that other stuff, I doubt that many of those people, grew up envisioning their life being that way. But because we have normalized basically being broke or living beyond your means, it's a normal thing. And I say that, man, because I did it too, you know what I mean? But getting into this space and really, moving towards the mindset of authenticity and living the way that you actually want to live, you come to discover that, that these things that we have cherished and strive for all this time aren't really that important or really that serious. It's really not about that. So we have to get back to normalizing joy over everything, not over luxury and comfort and all the things that you think you might want, because you're killing yourself trying to maintain or obtain these items, these material items, and you are literally stressing yourself out. I guarantee you, if you did a poll of American people, a large majority of them would say that financial stress is high on their list or number one on their list. And it's because of what you're asking me. Have we normalized it? Yes, we have normalized stressing yourself out for luxury.
I think you're so right. I can't tell you how many people have rolled up to my office in Los Angeles and they have fed up and they want to buy a house. They are currently living with 10 other people in a 1-bedroom apartment. And they still aren't quite making it, and they don't have private space to even woosah. But I'm going to throw this question to you, Dr. Lene, because listen, you help people tap into what they're good at. Have our school systems, have our families kind of failed us a little bit when it comes to teaching us life skills?
Schools, definitely. Family, I don't know if I'm going to say family. I can, but you have to remember our parents, they weren't thinking about these things. So what would they have taught us? I think our parents was probably the first generation of people who probably talked to us about credit, buying a home. And now we're of the age where we're talking about investing, crypto, like every generation gets better. You know what I'm saying? But also, if I'm being honest, when my mom was talking to me about making investment of my credit and budgeting, I thought I knew everything, so I didn't listen. I'm glad she told me about it, because as I got older, I was able to use it and apply it. But when you're younger, especially when you're balling out of control, remember, I used to be a dancer when I was younger. I'm 19, 20, making $4,000 a month in cash. I didn't do nothing with it. I should have had a house. I should be able to say, with all that money I made in those days, I did something with it, and I didn't. I blew it. It just came and went. So even though we do have some of the education from people who know us and love us, we also have to be open souls, open-minded, future thinking to actually use it and apply it, so that we don't end up living in our car.
Right. I agree. Shalay, do you think that we place too much emphasis on image and not enough on financial planning?
Absolutely. And the entertainment industry, the music industry specifically, is to blame for a lot of that. And we're a people right now where we're very easy to manipulate and easy to influence. So when you see the rappers who are, balling out and things like that, the younger kids think that that's the way to go. So they come up, they get a little bit of money, or they get into the music industry. They're not thinking about what I'm going to do when I'm 45. They're thinking about balling out of control right now. A lot of it comes with maturity, like Lene was saying, like, we all had those days, right? Where we messed up our credit in the past and stuff, and we came upon some money and we just blew through it. Part of it is maturity. Part of it is not even knowing what to do with it. Like, what do I do with it? Where are those mentors? Where are the people around us who can say, okay, this is what you got going on. This is what you need to do with it. And a lot of times, most of the time, and especially people of color in the music industry, you don't have those people around to tell you what to do with it. And like I said, those advisors that you do have, they're just there to take from you too. So I think it's maturity. I think it's mentality. I think it's strategy. And it's about having the community of people who are like in place to where when you get into this position, you have somewhere to go or someone to go to say, okay, now I've got this going on. I got a little chunk. What should I do so that in 25 years, my life is going to be better? I can set myself up.
Right. We all have to start changing our mindset. I think too many times we get into, this material thing, but you also have to make sure that your financial household is in a good place. And that's what we do here at Fly Nubian Money. You guys know that. And this is one of the reasons that we are talking about it. But we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
Are you a Black business owner looking to expand your reach? Well, has Fly Nubian Money got good news for you? We are building a Black business directory to connect you with customers who need your services. And here is the best part. It is absolutely free. Email us at info@realvirtual.net. Send us your business name. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what services you offer, your website address, and your contact information. That's it. Together, we are going to build and circulate the Black dollar. Get listed today and start connecting with people who are probably already looking for you.
And that's what we're all about. We are helping you build your financial house. How do you do that? You get in front of those who are looking for you. We are on a mission to make sure that our Black dollars stay in our community. And if you have a business, please email us at info@realvirtual.net. Send us all of your information. Don't send us part. We want everything. We want to know your name, your email, your website address. Give us a little bio. We want it all so that we can share your information. And as we said, this is free. And if you are looking for someone's business, then you also can email us as well. And as it grows, you're going to grow too. So make sure that you get yourself in this directory, because the first question everybody says is, well, who do we know? Where can we go? We're giving you the place to do it. Black Lexicon says financial literacy is overlooked skill set that should be taught to children. We are directly agreeing with you on that. Tiara, how should we change the mindset of chasing quick money versus long-term wealth?
Yeah, I think, there's so much information on the internet, right? There's so much information on the internet, and we just have access to so much information. I think it's so overwhelming sometimes that people just be like, I don't know, I don't know. But I just think that if we just got around people, I'm thinking about the Fly Nubian Money Club, and I can't help but to, like, as we're having this conversation, just think about like what we represent. And I'll just use this as an example. A lot of what we represent is knowledge and skills, right? Understanding how to invest, what to do. Community is really important, and understanding the power of investing. I met a guy who came to the All Black National Convention, and he said, you know what? If you just, I just picked one thing that Dr. Boyce told me to do. I did the $5 a day, $5 a day investment plan. So he took $5 every day and invested it, $35 a week. He told me within 2 years, he was able to take the money he invests and put it on a down payment on a house. And I thought, I think around that time, I was like, wait a minute. Now I'm around this person all the time, and I don't know if I take advantage of, the what knowledge I get from Dr. Boyce all the time. But something struck me at that day. It was like 8 All Black National Conventions ago, but it really just made me think like, oh my God, this is really working. If you just pick one strategy, if you pick one thing, whatever that thing is, and just learn it and master it, I think it'll make all the difference in your life. Instead of trying to do all the things, just learn one thing, whatever that is. Create a product, whatever it is, just learn it, master it, and just be consistent about it. And you'll see, you'll see your life change.
I think you hit something very important. Is there are so many things right now that many people have shiny squirrel object syndrome. They want to do something, but yet they see, oh, look, a bird, or oh, wow, a shiny nut. All of a sudden you've gotten yourself out of focus. I think there is a lot of power in what you said about picking one thing and sticking to it for a while, because you have to stick to something for a while before you even see if it's going to work or not. You're throwing spaghetti against the walls, each one stick, but make sure that you stay focused on that for a little bit before you move on.
Patience. Even the entertainers that you know and love, and you feel like, oh, they make all of this money. Literally, they put 20 and 30 years of their life into this one thing and just hit it every single day, and now can make money from that. So like, you got to be patient. You got to like put your head down and really focus on that one thing. It's always just the one thing. You could just do one thing and then just master that one thing, and it can literally change your life.
It really can. But we always talk about how it affects our communities, and especially Black women. So I want to check out these stats before we move on to another great video. A 2023 report found that 42% of Black women over 40 have less than $10,000 in their savings. And we know what these rents look like and things of that nature. That is not much at all. A report by the National Alliance to End Homelessness shows that Black women experience homelessness at disproportionately high rates, with many citing financial instability as the main cause. Listen, the last video that we saw showed and proved that stat, and the fact that she was working, and she's working 2 jobs, and she still could not afford a place to live. Just the car payment and the insurance payment. She's not even talking about it, what it costs to eat in our country. That proves that whole stat right there. But listen, we've been talking about a little bit of older ladies. We looked at a couple of older ladies, but what is this young generation thinking Let's check this out.
I'm homeless and I get ready for work at the gym. A lot of people don't understand why somebody would choose to be homeless, and honestly, rent was kicking back. I was paying $2,000 in household bills, and now I pay $20 for my gym membership, and this is where I sleep. When I left my apartment, I thought I'd be living in my car rent-free. The day I moved out, my car completely shut down, but it was too late to go back. I slept in that car so many nights without air and heat until one day I just couldn't take it. I told my manager I was living in a broke down car, and now I sleep at work. When I tell people I'm homeless, they imagine me digging in dumpsters like this looking for food. I chose to be homeless because I'm tired of paying bills and I need to save some money. They didn't want to give me food stamps, so I'm out here living rent-free, eating ribs. I said I was homeless, never said I was broke. I get my packages sent to a pickup location and go pick it up from there. I'm homeless, and this is how I date. I shower and get ready at the gym, and then I take my stuff to storage since it's not that far. I Uber to and from the date, even though they usually ask to come and pick me up. I don't mention being homeless until the second or third date, but it hasn't been an issue so far. If you have a problem with me dating, just remember I'm homeless by choice, and unlike you, I don't have any rent to pay.
This bothers me on so many levels, and let me tell you why. One of the first things, and Shalay, I'm going to ask you your thoughts on this, is she's living where she works. Her boss knows she's homeless. Am I crazy in thinking there's something wrong with that, Shalay?
I'm not sure. I feel like the boss thinks that he's doing her a solid by letting her sleep there at work. That really bothered me. And the problem is not going away. The cost of rent, even the cost of buying a home, the upfront cost for buyers, the cost of food, the cost of utilities, the cost of cars, insurance, it's astronomical. And as the wealth gap widens, this is going to become a bigger problem. So we need to have conversations like this, and we need to have even more conversations in town halls about what are we really going to do about it? Because I know for me, like I own a house, I own 2 homes, and my plan is for my daughters to have that. But what if I didn't? I have friends who don't own homes yet, and they have children, and they're just paying rent, and they're going to be paying rent unless they get into home ownership. And rent is going to continue to go up. And the cost of home ownership is going to continue to go up. Like, when does it stop? That really
right. The cycle is still continuing to go up. Inga Baby says, I'm hoping she's saving and investing her money. The boss could always fire her. That is a very real thing. But here's another thing that's bothering me. All right, Dr. Lene, am I cuckoo and thinking girlfriend out here talking about she eating good and she's still homeless? What is going on with that? What is going on with that? Am I crazy? What's your thoughts on that?
I think everybody has their own priorities. It couldn't work for me. I'd rather have a roof over my head and eat peanut butter and jelly and top ramen. Personally, that's me, right?
She sounds
I think
crazy
she's
as hell.
glorifying it. I think she's making it look like it's an easy thing to do. Everybody can do it, and that's not the case. Like a home provides stability. Having an address provides stability. I'm not dating if I don't have a home. I believe I can't think of it right now. Maslow's hierarchy says that the first one is stability, a house, a home, like the basic needs. Like I'm not going to say that. You need a home. And if you don't have one, and when I say need a home, the RV is not that bad. You know what I'm saying? At least you got a little living room, you got a bedroom. Okay, I'll go with the RV. I'll go with the RV. The house, the car, and the streets. I don't know about that one, but RV, okay. But not having a home, living at your job, getting dressed, taking showers at the gym, and then normalizing that as if it's okay. I think that's a bad strategy and a bad thing to show other people who might be on the verge of trying to figure out if they're going to push through and go to the next level or quit and scale down.
Can I say something? I feel like if it's a very short-term strategy, like, look, I'm this rent is too much right now. I need to, how can I save $2,000 a month so that I can save to buy a house or something? I feel like if it's a short-term strategy and you're doing it to get out of the situation, that's a little bit different.
Just rent a room. Just rent a room. If you got a job, rent a room for $500. Like something. Like don't.
Yeah.
No. Sorry, Shalay. I don't mean no to you. I'm just saying no. No.
I don't know where she lives, like what city, because I know here in Boston, you rent a room is still $1,500 a month. Like, I know people who cannot afford that. I have clients right now who cry to me because, y'all, it's bad. It's bad. I don't know where this young lady lives, but what my question would be, what is she doing with the money that she's saving? Like, what's the plan? Because you cannot.
Ribs. She's eating ribs.
She's eating good.
She's
paying for her gym membership. And she's paying for that gym membership too. Don't forget that.
Well, she said that was $20. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Where she work at? I guess that's the next question. Where you work at?
That's what I want to know.
It's the rent place. So she get.
Yeah, it kind of cripples her. If she's able to sleep in the office, it kind of cripples her and makes her feel like this false sense of, like you said, like whoever said, like, you know, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, him allowing her to live in the office. It just feels like he's like crippling her from being able to really like be responsible. I don't know. I think that what Shalay was saying is probably, I think that when somebody goes to being homeless, I think they think that it's a short-term solution. Like, you know what, I'm just going to do it for a minute. I'm going to get back on my feet. I hope to believe that that's what somebody thinks, right? I'm just going to be in my car for a second. I'm going to save some money. I'm going to get back on my feet. But the point that Tiara was making is when you start having people, I think that solidify it or justify it or normalize it, then you stop putting forth the energy and the effort to do it differently when you could just do it this way.
Especially if you're getting attention.
Right. And people, right? Joe, this is not a mental health situation? Because that feels mental healthy to me. Like it feels like a little off. Now I understand rent is expensive and all of that, but I also wonder if that means that if I can't afford to pay for my life, I need to go get some more skills, baby. I need to get some certifications. I need to figure it out so I can make more money. Like, right? Like, or am I just, is everybody downtrodden? No, go get some more skills. I'm asking.
I got from the video that she's possibly making a kind of a decent living, right? So what's the alternative? My question would be is for her to work a week, 2 weeks, take her paycheck and, you know, spend the whole thing on just her living situation and be stressed and struggling. What's the alternative?
A room.
Most young people I know only leave the home at this stage out of necessity. Like you have to be out because staying with your parents or your whatever situation you're in is no longer an option. So let's just assume that, you know, she's out of the home because she has to be. And if this is accurate, because we don't know, all we know is what she told us. Remember that.
Yeah.
If this is comfortable life for her, she can afford them ribs. Meanwhile, her counterpart or one of her friends is spending all their money on their rent and can't afford no ribs.
But what's the long-term plan?
Right.
Because she can't be.
We don't know if she, she said she was saving. She literally said she was saving. So we don't know. What if her long-term plan is to travel the world? You know, you only need a certain amount of money to start backpacking around. You can do that. You know what I mean? But she can't afford that if she's giving up all her money. You know, these young people got different ambitions. Like when I was young, I didn't leave the country until I was 27 years old. These young people today are leaving the country at 18, 19 years old and experiencing different things. So what if she's seen? I mean, I'm just throwing out scenarios that are possible. Yeah. What if she's seen the opportunities or the ability to go overseas and spend 2 or 3 weeks and it only costs you, you know, $1,500, $1,600? She got that.
The way she was curling her hair at the gym tells me that is not,
She looked clean and ready to do
it.
But okay, let me point out something. Let me point out something that I haven't heard anybody say, and I waited because I wanted to see if someone else picked up on this. Listen to the tone of each one of those ladies in this video. Dawn, the lady who's working 2 jobs and living in a car, and this young lady. They don't sound happy to me. They don't sound like they are happy to me. Your voice and your body language will always tell you that there is something else going on. So I do see this as a mental issue. I see this as us making it normalized that this is how how you're supposed to live. I don't know about y'all, but I want more. Now, if I had to be homeless, then I would really make it a priority not to be homeless for long. Like I would rent a room. All right. I would rent a shed if I had to. But I wouldn't be on these streets. For one, it's not safe for anyone, not less alone a woman to be out in these streets in these cars. I have a problem with that. Their tone is telling me everything.
My response, Paula, I can show you some people that live in apartments with that same tone. As I'm saying, we just don't know. It's not enough information.
We don't know the backstory. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know enough, is all I'm saying.
Agree. Point. But but I don't know, something's still irking on my heart. Sometimes the heart just be telling you stuff. Big Mac said, Joe, come on now.
Hey, Big Mac, listen, man, I'm telling you, man, when you sit,
glad to have you back
in therapy rooms and you talk to people, you get 100 different perspectives on people's lives and lived perspectives a week. Your mind begins to expand on what normal actually looks like. And you start to realize that if people are living authentic, people are going out of their way to be miserable. I've seen that too many times. So if this girl wants to live in her car and that makes her happy and she's joyful and she's at peace, then who are we to say that that's an issue? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know enough. Now, I could talk to her and be like, I could find out that she really don't want to be living this way. And then I could press her like, hey, well, you got to start doing some things to get you inside of an apartment or a room, or go get a room. I can start talking like Tierra. But but I don't know. I see too many people.
But here's the thing. That's what makes it tough. We don't know. We can assume all day long, right? We truly can. Because you really don't really know what someone is going through if you're not in their shoes. And you made that a great point, Joe. It's really easy for us to sit on this side and make our judgments. But unless you are in their situation, there isn't anything you can do, which I will say this comment that I will tap in before we have final thoughts is, how can you do any better if you don't know any better? We should be praying that we educate people around this whole situation. And I agree with that. Not arguing with you at all, Joe. I see your point. You also made me open my eyes a little bit as well, because I have to say I am right now not really thrilled with Miss Dawn, because I see her being able to do better. And if she doesn't want to do better, then I can't want better for her. And with that being said, I'm going to tap into final thoughts. Dr. Lene, what are your final thoughts and where can we find you?
My final thoughts are to be strategic with your life, your goals, your plans, your brilliance, whatever it is that you're doing today, right now. Think about, what does that look like for you after 65? Are you going to be prepared? What type of life do you want to live? And then what are you doing to make sure that you have that life? I think that's ultimately what we're talking about. Everybody is one mistake away or one check away. But let me rephrase that. Everybody is not, because some people are preparing and planning so that is not their outcome. And so I would like to hope and pray that that is what we take away from this today. Where are we at in our lives, and what do we want our lives to look like after we're 65? And then are we doing what we need to do to make sure that we can live the life that we want? And so if you need help with that, I am a monetization strategist and a brand your brilliance coach. And I help entrepreneurs to create businesses around their brilliance so that they can make money. You can find me at drlenejavette.com/links to learn all the different things that I do.
You know what she does. And she brings it with some light too. That pretty smile. Come on. You know to get your brilliance all up there. Make sure that you go to Dr. Lene. She told you what to do. You got your marketing orders. Listen, she has the skills and she has the mindset and she has the heart to help you as well. So make sure that you follow her and sign up for that, because I'm sure she's going to take you to the next level. Shalay, what is your final thoughts and where can we find you?
So my final thoughts are like, how can we change the mindset of like chasing quick money to long-term wealth? We've got to change our mindset, and that starts when we are young. So teaching our daughters, our sons, our nieces and nephews, teaching young people who may be in our sphere. I think it's about changing the mindset, and then making sure that we tap into educational resources or mentorship resources to actually access that information. And that not only the information, because like Tiara was saying, everything's on Google. It's really the insight and what to do with it. I know for me, like there's still so many things that I'm like, ugh, even in investing, that I'm like, when you talk about real estate, I got it. But like other things, I'm like, I need other people. Fly Nubian Money Club. So that's my final thought. You can find me at Shalay Camillo on Instagram and Facebook, Shalay.Camillo on YouTube. I can help you move or buy or sell real estate anywhere in the continental United States and Canada. I would love to help you and your family do that. Vital Source Realty, check me out.
All righty, you got your marching orders there. Now listen, just because now I'm a witness, because we in the same industry, listen, buy a home, get you some land. And if you don't want to do that here, find somewhere else to do it. There's plenty of it out here for you to get into, whether you want to do it domestically or internationally. So you want to make sure that you follow her. Got any questions about that? Tap into her as a good resource. Joe, we gave you the blues today, and I'm sorry. I love you so much. What's your final thoughts? And where can we find you?
I want to quick say to Big Mac, brother, I had the luxury of talking to you, and I know that not a whole lot of people think like you. So I'm gonna say that to everybody, bro. We all don't think alike, man. We all just don't think alike. If you are an older person, and you are not living authentically, then let's talk about getting rid of some of those regrets and figuring out how you can live the way you want to live, so that you can be, at peace and have joy. And if you're a younger person, I want you to be intentional about the kind of experiences you want to have. And it's okay if you don't exactly know what that is, or if they change later. But for the right now, like, don't listen to what everybody's telling you should do or what you should be, or trying to take. I know people that are buying houses that don't really want houses because they're trying to take care of their younger selves, because their younger selves was poor. So you want to, show that you can live a life where you're prosperous and you have money just because you were broke when you were a kid. These are the type of things that I come across every day, and I'm saying it one more time. People go out of their way. I have seen this firsthand. People go out of their way to be miserable, and you don't have to do that. You don't. You can live the way you want to live unapologetically. Holler at me, realuconsulting.com, Joe Corley on all platforms. Tuesday night, Vulnerability New Sexy. Had a great conversation this past weekend. Very proud of the conversation we had. And I want y'all to go back and listen to that one. That's all. That's it. Free your mind and rest. Shout out to the Funky Cold Divas, my mom's favorite group.
I love it. Listen, he told you go check that out. And when he talks strong. So listen, there are ways that you can balance yourself, and Joe is one of the best. So you want to make sure that you tap into him at realuconsulting.com. And Tiara, what is your final thoughts and where can we find you?
I'm gonna just give a shout out, because this, for reasons like this, is the reason why we created the Fly Nubian Money Club. So, I'm just gonna tell you what I value is knowledge. I got myself around a community of women. Actually, this podcast inspired Fly Nubian Money Club, because I come week after week and I'm around bomb ass women who know business, who know real estate, who know investing, and it's leveled me up. So if you are about to live in your car, you trying to get you some friends that don't live in their car, like that, get around people that know business, that know the things that you don't. Community is so important. On top of that, don't put all your eggs in one basket. right? Diversify your income while you're working that job. Also, like everyone else has said, put money other places. $5 a day, put it into the stock market, something so that when you need it, you need something, or you're about to be put out your home, you have something to pull from, and just lastly, a lot of people I hear, and nobody mentioned this, it's just like working the whole idea, like Black people work so hard. That lady's working two jobs. But really, like, the idea here is to shift that mindset and work smarter. Put your money elsewhere. Like, what Black people got to get away from that, like how hard we used to work during slave, like, or just being a slave to corporate plantations or whatever it is, and just learn how to like really work that money that you're making. So I would just say that those are our principles at the Fly Nubian Money Club. And I invite you to come on a journey with us at the Fly Nubian Money Club. Go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. Okay, my lights are running around. Okay. Come to flynubianmoneyclub.com and let us show you a different way to live. You ain't got to be in your car. You ain't got to go to the gym to wash up. You ain't got to live in an office. Just come through. We got you.
And
I'm
that's
Sierra.
easy.
I'm at Miss Black Hollywood across all platforms. Come holler at me.
Yep, she got a whole lot for you to look at. You better get on over there and follow her. And she truly does mean she is trying to make sure that you have the resources that you need with our club, flynubianmoneyclub.com. Sign up for that. Here's my final thought. I've had to kind of check myself a little bit through this podcast today. I do my best to look at myself and if I'm judging too harshly, because honestly, my business is my business and someone else's business is someone else's their business. Is that how they want to live? But you also can have compassion and empathy for someone because you never know what they're going through. You could be walking around all together with a Coach bag and Jimmy Choo shoes, but there is something internally going on, and it can be the exact opposite. Someone could be walking around in shabby shoes that's not even the glue doesn't come apart, and they could be the happiest person in the world. So first, check yourself before you start doing the judgments. And when you do see someone who truly does need help, try to give a light and a helping hand in some kind of way. Listen, you do not have to stay in the United States. If you are finding that it is just way too expensive to be there, there are many other countries that will help you and your money go a little bit further, especially in today's political climate. You may not necessarily want to be around looking over your shoulder at all times. I can help you make the decision of if you want to leave the country, but first you need to take my free quiz from my website, www.laurakey.net, that will help you assess where you are in that thinking, because it's easy to say, I'm going to pick up and move out of country. But what does that mean? This quiz will help you really dig into the questions and the answers that you need to make that decision. Listen, guys, this is a tough conversation. I mean, I will tell you, when I first saw the email, the video of Dawn, I just was like, and that's just how I felt about it. But I do see a different perspective now. So, and I hope that you do too. This conversation today is more than just about Dawn. It's about financial literacy, wealth protection, and making sure that no matter how much money you make, you always have some to fall back on. Dawn's story is heartbreaking, though. It's not unique. We've seen this happen to too many other artists, especially Black women who've given their all to an industry only to be left with nothing. So the real question is, how do we break this cycle? And how do we protect our finances, whether we're in entertainment, business, or any other industry? It's time to start prioritizing financial security over fleeting success. I want to say thank you to my royal panel today. And we had Shalay, Joe, Dr. Lene, and Tiara. And thank you so much for dropping so many gems and so many things that we can pick up on and really think about. And to our audience, we always love you. We are so appreciative. We don't take you lightly, because you know what? Without you, we wouldn't have a show. You wouldn't be watching, you wouldn't be participating, but we do not want to end this conversation. We want you to continue to put in your thoughts, and we would love to hear what else you think. So we want to ensure that we're building long-term wealth and security. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'll see you tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to sign up at flynubianmoneyclub.com. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.